Welcome, angry faithful. Sorry, we're 30 minutes late because of me. The guy that owns and runs the show and everything, and I am late. And I apologize for that. I had some guests and we did some swimming stuff, and it was hard to get those guests out of the pool. Because apparently 3-year-olds don't like being told what to do. So, anyways, we are good to go. This is Friday. What the hell? Yeah. Trinidad's cops can't do anything. We've talked about this 2 weeks ago. The way that Trinidad was working. Trinidad, Texas is basically under a lot of scrutiny right now. It's being investigated by the Texas Rangers. And right now, their chief of police resigned. And there's another chief of police, acting chief of police, I guess you would call it, as of right now. And all the cops in that area right now, they're only allowed to give out tickets, misdemeanors. That's it. If anything big happens, they still can't arrest you, but they have to wait for a sheriff's department person to come pick them up and actually do the job. They're not allowed to do their job, basically. Bill, what's your thoughts on that?
Bummer.
Yeah, it's really weird because throughout this whole ongoing investigation as of right now, I mean, it all started with a woman that posted on Facebook how the water in her area was crap, and everybody was talking about it, and she was arrested falsely for First Amendment rights. Where are other places that do that, Bill? I mean, is it a third world country that does that? I mean, what's that third world country that constantly does it?
Or
it wasn't
Democrats
Russia.
Democrats do that.
Yeah, Democrats do that, but there was a third world country that does. Oh yeah, England, the UK. They do that in the UK. Yeah. We have the First Amendment for a reason. If we wanted to say some stupid stuff, we can say some stupid stuff.
Well, there was a 60 Minutes program from Germany where if you said something, well, you didn't have to say something offensive, like something against illegal immigration. It's even worse, they said, if you don't say it, but you share it, and they were arresting people and fining people for it. And in the 60 Minutes program in Germany, they were the officers were gleeful. They were laughing and cheering that they had done that.
Yeah. And even I think, let me make sure, because I think that even the judge because he actually signed some of the warrants. Hold on real quick. Is the judge in Trinidad, Texas? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's former, who was fired in May 2026. That was after dismissing charges against local protester. So yeah, he was fired. Yeah, it looks like that whole town is under a lot of scrutiny for some reason. Yeah, and all because of all they had to do. This is what gets me. If you're wanting to control a town, which these people were wanting to control a town, and this is just me being devil's advocate, because I think both sides of it. If whenever you're like on like a road trip with a good close friend, and you're always talking about weird stuff, like, what would you do if you wanted to rob a bank? Have you ever done that with a friend? Those types of which
no.
there's scenarios where and you never had fun.
Oh, my favorite fun thing doing with a friend is I was in my Cougar and had a friend next to me, and I laid down in the seat all the way, and he reached over and was driving with his hand at the bottom of the wheel, and he said little kids would go by and go, "Ah, look, there's no one driving." That was funny.
Okay. That was weird.
We did a lot of things in that car. The speedometer read 60 miles an hour. It read backwards. It would read your speed going backwards, and we hit over 60 miles an hour in reverse in it.
Oh, okay.
That was cool too.
Yeah.
That's totally off the topic that you're on, isn't it?
Yeah, you just went into the weeds and just took a shit. Anyways, basically, in this scenario, if you take over, all you had to do is fix the water. I would fix the water because you wouldn't have anybody complaining about stuff. Yeah, they would probably complain about the police and everything, but everybody would like chunk that underneath the rug. But it was the wrongfully accused of the protester because she was just bitching and complaining about the water, and she had all rights to bitch and complain about the water. But the thing is, if they just took care of like the small mediocre stuff like that, because water, certain things you don't mess with to keep your criminal empire together. You keep everybody happy ish.
That's easier said than done. Don't you know Burke?
Oh, Burke.
Growing up, and this is back in the late 70s, I think, early 80s. Mom thought it was funny, and she cut an article out of the paper that was about, I think, Southern Louisiana paper had written an article about Burke's water because it was so bad, and it still is. And looking at the Trinidad situation, it's because of the aging infrastructure, 1950s era distribution mains, and poor system design. Now, that's not a well, let's just fix it. That's a really, really expensive, detailed project.
Yeah,
that's nothing that's like Burke's problem has been going on since the 70s, and it's not fixed.
Yeah, and you can get government grants. Yeah, you can. You can get state grants and you can get federal grants for fixing water infrastructure like that. Or how about this? Ronnie Jackson put it in a bill, try to get us some of that Fed money so we can get that water supply fixed. Wichita Falls gets it all the fucking time, but we mainly have the Air Force Base. They're always fixing the water mains in Wichita Falls. So,
is Trinidad in Trinidad? Is it in our district?
No, it's in Dallas.
Why did you bring up Ronnie Jackson then?
For Burke.
Oh.
Oh. That's some good news. Here's some good news that's happening right now. Did you hear what they're trying to do in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport?
Yeah, and I just saw Abbott put something out on that a few minutes ago. I think it was a few minutes ago saying, nope.
Hold on. I got it right here.
Statutes have banned Sharia on Israel. We know of at least two that exist in the Dallas area. We're looking broader in Dallas County as well as Collin County, which is right next to Dallas. And that's why I sent the letter to officials both in Dallas and Collin counties to urge them to take action to root out any Sharia courts. And I am deploying the Texas Department of Public Safety to also root out any Sharia courts anywhere in the state of Texas. To be clear, the Texas Constitution does not allow Sharia courts or Sharia law. Texas statutes have banned Sharia law, and we are going to pursue this until we purge any attempt to impose Sharia on Israel.
Okay. Saying that, let me stop sharing this. Greg Abbott just intervened to block Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport from placing Islamic foot washing stations in the bathrooms, declaring it illegal, considering granting revocation and referring to it as to the Trump administration. Basically, what the details on that is people that are in Islam to pray, they have to wash their feet and hands. And what they were doing is they were going to the bathroom and washing their feet and the hands in the sink. The counter to that, Dallas-Fort Worth Airport decided to install Islamic feet washing stations, which is a religious thing. I get it. But you're going to have to pay for it through the tickets. You're just maintaining it and everything, cleaning it up afterwards and whatnot. So ticket prices are going to go up. And I'm kind of against Muslims now. The Islamic phobe, I guess you'd call it. I don't want to be that, honestly. I don't want to. I understand that, you have the right of religion and everything, and I understand certain religions or like I don't believe in satanism or anything that deals with evil. I'm a Christian man. I believe in Christian values, but when you're forced and pushed on certain things because they feel that you're inferior, yeah, no, I'm not dealing with that. I'm seriously getting tired of it. But go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
Interesting. Maybe we could do an entire segment, not today, on why Burke can't get their water repaired.
Really? Are you?
Yeah, they can't. The primary hurdle preventing a rapid infrastructure replacement is that S&P Global Ratings downgraded Burke Burnett's water and wastewater revenue bonds to BB plus junk speculative rating. There's too much competition for those state funds that you said are available.
Yeah.
And with Burke's bond rating going down to junk, that puts them at the bottom of the list to get into the funds. That's one of like 4 different major reasons why they can't get funding to repair the system.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's several that it just cascading a perfect storm of all kinds of garbage. Wow. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. So there are reasons that why they can't get the money. I know there was some kind of infrastructure, not a full replacement, that was in a deal for the solar project that's going to be up there right before you get to the river.
Mm-hmm.
They're building a solar farm, and there was something that they were going to repair, but it wasn't going to be something that would replace the complete system, that it needs to be replaced. But they were going to do some improvement. Interesting.
Well, that's the thing sometimes what a lot of people don't understand is, say that you have a new project coming in. I won't even say what everybody thinks I'm going to say because of Bill's here.
Huh?
Let's just say they need, like, Burke has a crappy infrastructure. Most of the times when you have a big business, we'll say, because there's a lot of people that work in the Burke Burnett area, they're going to put a new facility that makes widgets. Everybody loves widgets. And what they're gonna do with those they need to redesign the whole entire city, and the business that makes those widgets, which they're super powerful, and we'll say not super powerful, but big enough to where they can afford to redo the whole water system, because if they don't do it, they're not going to be able to get water to that widget factory. Okay. So business comes in, restructures, does everything. They're doing it at a loss for a couple of years, and then eventually they make money. So that's good for them. So, yeah, having a business come in, and there's people who's like, we don't want that business here because it's going to ruin it. People are going to come in here and destroy our community and everything like that. I hate to tell you this. Most of the time when a business comes in new, they redo a couple of infrastructures just to the safe face. They get a discount because of doing it, because they get tax revenue back for doing that, for whatever place they do it in, like Burke Burnett or Wichita Falls. They get tax cuts, tax breaks, and people are like, "Oh, they're just doing it for the tax breaks." Yes, they're doing it for the tax breaks to make it cheaper on them to build that facility. And in turn, they get money for whatever facility they build and the product they build. And bam, helps the community out. And a lot of federal places do this. People just don't get a lot of the stuff that I honestly believe they still think it's the 1800s whenever a business come in, because we watched Hollywood or anything like that, that when a business comes in, they destroy the town because it's new, blah, blah, blah. How many times have you heard that, that mom and pop shop, because Walmart came in, destroyed the mom and pop shop? Then if you do a little bit of research, that mom and pop store, which a lot of people like the people that were working at the mom and pop shop, they find out, I was like, but they were charging like 300% above par. Most of those mom and pop shops, just to keep the lights on and everything, they have to do that.
And once that happens, whatever mom and pop shops are left are the best ones.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Or it's something that the big business like Walmart can't make or build effectively. But you're absolutely right. Usually the mom and pop stores it's usually the grocery stores. And the grocery stores, I hate to tell you, very rarely, there's only like one grocery store I know that's better than all of them. That's H-E-B. They actually run a profit, and the way they run a profit is fucking ingenious. H-E-B, they don't buy just a place for their store, okay? They buy the place for their store plus a little shopping center area. Walmart tries to do it too, but they fail at it every time, except for the one on Lawrence Road. Greenbrier, they couldn't do it because they tried to do it there too. Basically, what happens is you got a Walmart. Outside the Walmart or outside the H-E-B is a gas station. Like the Walmart, H-E-B does the same thing. Walmart does the same thing. They basically have everything there, so everything gives them money. Like you go to HEB, you can also get gas at some of the HEBs, correct, Bill?
Yeah.
Same thing with Walmart. You can get
the majority of them. Well, at least the super one. Had you ever heard of Hypermart?
Hypermart. No.
We had a Hypermart. Walmart tried. They may have only done a few of them, but I lived in Arlington, and in South Arlington, they had a Hypermart. It was like your Walmart Supercenter, except a lot bigger. And it did practically have a shopping mall in it. I even got boots repaired there once. The whole front, one side to the other, probably half again larger than a Walmart. And it was stores, shops, all kinds of things. It was like a shopping mall, like Sykes. If you took Sykes lengthwise and put it in front of the Walmart, and it was called a Hypermart.
Yeah, there was only 2 of them.
Yeah, I don't think
They only
lasted very long.
No, I'm reading the article right now. And it wasn't a counter with Walmart. It was basically Walmart. They made that. But Hypermart USA, there was only like 2 of them.
Was one of them on Cooper or Collins? Does it say the address? And I-20?
Let me see here.
Yeah, I shopped there.
All 4 buildings converted to Walmart supercenters. 2 eventually closed down and got demolished. And as a parent company was Walmart.
Yeah, it was there. They were going to do the nationwide, a big shopping mall center, all in one, kind of like HEB, but on a grander scale than HEB.
Yeah, Garland, Texas. One was in Garland, Texas. One was in Topeka, Kansas. And after that,
it was east of Collins then.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what it's looking at right now. Yeah, that let me put up a photo if I can. Here. Here is the Hypermart. Yeah, that's basically a Walmart, but with and a gas station. Looking at the size of it.
Yeah. Well, it was bigger than a super Walmart. It was wider.
Well, the HEB down in Austin area, it's there's one that's 2 stories.
Yeah, those things are huge, and I'm not too thrilled with the generics. HEB's generics, I'm not too thrilled with. United Signature Series generics are really good.
Bill, do me a favor real quick. Talk about some kind of weird subject for the next couple of minutes. I got to go use the restroom.
Oh, no. Well, looking back into the Burke water issue, it's very very interesting. David thought that there'd be no problem with them getting funding for water. Here's what comes up when I pull it up. The credit downgrade and junk bond bottleneck. For a city to borrow money via the public markets to fix water pipes, they must issue utility revenue bonds. The reality, S&P Global Ratings downgraded Burnett's waterworks and wastewater revenue bonds to BB plus speculative junk ratings. It happened because the utility's net revenues fell well below the minimum legal threshold required to cover its existing debt service from 2023 to 2025. They can't pay their water bill. The consequence, because of the BB plus rating, institutional investors are legally prohibited or heavily restricted from buying Burke's debt. If the city does try to borrow money now, the interest rate would be punitively high. making the total cost of repairing the pipes completely unaffordable for a town's small tax base. You know what they need? A data center. I think I'll put that out there. Burke needs a data center. They can get their tax revenue in. The general fund rating trap, a massive hurdle hiding in the city's internal auditing, completely crippled their general borrowing power. The interfund debt, according to S&P Global's credit rating, nearly half of Burke's entire available general fund reserves are tied up in massive receivable loans sent to the struggling water and sewer funds. The backfire, because the water department couldn't pay its own bills, it had to borrow money internally from the town's general public safety and operations budget. Credit analysts in S&P noted that it will likely take an entire decade for the water fund to repay the general city fund. This internal debt drag caused S&P to simultaneously downgrade Burke's general obligation bonds to an A rating, making it harder for the city to borrow capital for any public project. To get their credit scores back up, the city had to implement massive unpopular utility rate increases to prove to lenders they could generate cash. Wow, the irony. When cities raise rates, they assume usage remains the same. However, Texas experienced heavy wet weather and rain intervals over recent seasons because residents didn't need to water their lawns or rely heavily on city water. During those periods, water consumption plummeted. The final blow, even with higher rates per gallon, the severe drop in total gallons sold meant the city kept suffering from unexpected revenue shortfalls, failing to generate the financial safety margin required by lenders to secure infrastructure financing. And last point, severe statewide competition for grants. Many assume the city can just rely on state grants from agencies like the Texas Water Development Board. The macro problem. Texas is currently facing a monumental water infrastructure crisis. The draft 2027 state water plan dictates that Texas needs $174 billion over the next 50 years to avoid a structural water emergency, more than double previous projections. The deficit. State funds are completely overwhelmed. The TWDB's flagship SWIFT program, State Water Implementation Fund for Texas, had to formally reject worthwhile projects for the first time in its 11-year history because cities requested $4.2 billion in funding and the state only had $1.28 billion available. Smaller towns like Burke are being crowded out of grant pools by larger high-risk regions like Corpus Christi or the Coastal Bend that are closer to depletion. Burke cannot get funding because the water system is too broke to borrow money and the state funds are too overwhelmed to give them grants. That is exactly why the city was forced to bring in Veolia Water Technologies to take over operations using private management efficiency to slowly rebuild plant capacity because the city simply lacks the borrowing power to dig up and replace the physical distribution pipelines. Wow.
Really? Is this all the Burke stuff?
Yeah, you'll have to watch the replay of what I just read. I went through all four of the.
I was watching a little bit of it, and some of it I couldn't believe of how much it would cost them just to redo the whole infrastructure, because that whole infrastructure is a fuck.
Well, you know, people talk about the water use of data centers. The biggest water is loss statewide due to the pipes, old pipes.
Yeah. Well, here's another messed up stuff is when I was doing like renovation stuff, I didn't realize how many new houses were in Burke. because they have a couple of new places in Burke, and I'm like thinking to myself, I was like, wait a minute, they haven't. I thought they did redo the infrastructure because they have a lot of new houses there. I feel for those people now. It's like, have you ever been over in what was it? Not Fairway, but right before it, going into like Abilene, to go into Abilene. Is it Broad? I don't think it's Broad. No.
Fairway heading to Abilene?
Yeah.
Broad is under the bridge.
Beverly.
The Beverly Loop? Yeah, the loop.
No.
The loop is Beverly.
Have you gone on Beverly in a while? Over where the old state Beverly's over by where their stadium's at, right?
I haven't gone out that far. You're talking about on Southwest Parkway?
Yeah, you go on Southwest Parkway, you hit Beverly.
Okay, no, I haven't. I've gone Seymour, Kell, but not Southwest Parkway. You're talking about the stadium.
Okay, yeah. If you go in front of the stadium where that 7-Eleven's at, and you keep on going on Beverly that direction, dude, there's like big time, nice, super nice houses there that are being built in that area. Like big, like, oh man, I'll never be able to afford it, but they're really nice houses over there. But you would never know it. And that place used to be like, it's like right when I went in the Air Force, that place was never any kind of infrastructure.
No, the housing, and my wife looked it up. The weirdest thing about housing now is there's a lot of housing areas that are cookie cutter white houses with black roofs. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Go out toward Denton, like Decatur to Denton.
Yeah.
And you'll see whole housing sections that are white with black roofs. And she looked it up, and I was like, is that some kind of a cooling thing? I know Elon was working with solar shingles, but I think that fell through. But she looked it up, and it was just strictly for aesthetics.
Huh.
Whole sections. Oh, I have the solution to Burke's water problem. You know what that is?
What's that?
What can bring in a lot of revenue?
What?
Burke needs a data center.
We talked about this last week, Bill. We're not talking about data center.
Yeah, we got to get into that somewhat.
No,
yeah.
Bill. No, because I don't want us to be the podcast that all we talk about is data centers. Like freaking Candace Owens, the only thing she talks about is Israel and Charlie Kirk. And she's wrong on almost all the stuff for Charlie Kirk.
Well, I went to the planning and zoning meeting Wednesday, so that's a hot local topic.
How did that go?
Well, there's a few things about that. Is people had gone, major water use and all this, but you got to look at the actual specs of the data center. You don't go by the fear mongering, and the actual specs showed that there's 2 phases. See the building behind me?
Mm-hmm.
That's the old call center. I worked there when it was budget, and there were, I think, about 350 people. It was budget Avis. So it had the Avis cars and it had budget trucks in it. And so I'm familiar with the building, and it's got awesome fiber running to it. One, without getting into the weeds, we've got a lot of good fiber going through this area anyway, long haul and dark fiber. But they had repairing that bridge across to the Walmart, they had ripped up all the fiber lines. Took us down for almost 2 days. Okay. So it's got solid new fiber at it. Now, they were planning on phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 was going to be just the building.
Mhm.
Phase 2 was going to be another building, multi-story around the back and one side of it. So that was going to be. Now, people are like, oh, it's going to use a lot of water. There were two companies they were going to work with, and one of them specializes in direct-to-chip cooling, and one of them specializes in immersion cooling. Both of them are very low water usage. But there's the ERCOT batch queue system. And the ERCOT batch queue system requires anything over 75 megawatts. It requires them to get into the batch queue system. Well, using just the existing building, it's only going to use 14 megawatts. Now, if you analyze other usage around...
Data centers, Bill?
Huh?
Are we talking about data centers again, Bill?
No, we're talking about this one. You asked about the planning and zoning meeting. The planning and zoning meeting, in that it was exposed that they're only doing phase 1. They've moved phase 2 out. Reason for moving phase 2 is probably strategic, so it avoids the ERCOT queue. Now, look at as far as usage. Look at Howmet and Vitro. I analyze those, and of course, there's no real public numbers, but AI can look at it as this type of plant and what they do. And it came out with Howmet as like 15 to 30 megawatts. And the Vitro uses some, I can't remember it going into detail on some kind of weird electrical system down the whole thing. When I toured it, when I went to Burke, it was the largest float glass plant in the world back when it was PPG. But their usage is 30 to 60 megawatts estimated. This data center, the call center, is going to be air cooled. They're not going to add any liquid cooling to it, and it's going to use 14 megawatts. It is capped at 14 by the zoning ordinances, so it's not going to use more than 14. Water is going to be limited to standard consumption. In fact, if they have, I can't remember if it's 20 to 30 employees are going to be in that particular building. Well, you're looking at the water use for 20 or 30 employees and whatever landscaping they have around it. So budget had over 300 employees, and I think one of the other call centers got to over 800. So basically, when the call centers were there, they were using twice or more water than Datanovix will use in that as a data center. So the idiot running for city council locally, who is fear mongering, and he's making people think, oh, it's going to ruin our quality of life, and it's absurd. There's no basis for that. There's no logical basis for the water usage. And what I look at in this town is NATO. Yeah, NATO. You know what NATO stands for?
Are you talking about NATO, the European NATO, or is it?
Well, there's the acronym NATO that's the European NATO, but I look at it as comparing it to our local citizens, no action, talk only. Well, that's how some people consider NATO anyway. You know, we should get out because it's no action, talk only. Well, that's the city. That's this city. They yap online. And I went to the planning and zoning meeting, and there was even a call to arms put out by a statewide person to bring in national people. I think that person realized that this little tiny shit of a data center is nothing, and it's nothing to fight. I went there, and there was no one. One person had a prepared thing, no loud. He just read a couple of things. That's it. So all this online opposition, we're going to get rid of the city council, we're going to get rid of the mayor. They don't show up. But since they don't show up, I tell them, hey, you can see the city council meetings free online, but they don't look. So the residents say, transparency, they're not telling us anything. You're not watching. You're not going to the meetings to learn anything. Who do you expect to tell you? So, yeah,
Well,
I was a little bummed because actually the virus hit about the same time as, or shortly. No, it was before, but we were out of work, or I still, yeah. The virus hit, and Data Novix announced a few years ago, 2020. 2 years ago, it came out in Texoma homepage that they were going to build the data center. And I was like, whoo, I'm going to try to get a job there. Then it just kind of went away. But they can't get into the queue right now to do the whole phase 2. They say they moved it elsewhere. My theory is that when batch 1 opens, that they might, bring it in anyway. But if they don't, they've got this building. It's sitting there. They own it. It's empty. Might as well put something in it. And as far as construction workers, well, no, my guess is it probably doesn't have cubicles in it anymore. That's what happens. They usually lease the furniture in an office building like that. And when the office clears out, the furniture people take the furniture back out. Furniture is actually over a third of the cost of an entire building. It can be the furniture.
Really?
Yeah, I helped set up Fleming Company's corporate headquarters in Louisville, and it was over a third of that building. I mean, building the entire headquarters building, redoing the inside, customizing it. The furniture was over a third of the cost.
I could see that because I was thinking about it. Because I was thinking about the cost of building a house and everything. Like a very, very well house. Like you would think it would be a mansion. You know how much those things cost to make, and you can get it made. I think the most I've seen something like that, depending on the square footage and everything, but it was kind of like a small resort, was probably around about $800,000 to make it. But
Wow.
That wasn't the bad price. The bad price was like the stove, because you can get up there in the stove, the grill, a lot of the stuff that you nitpick and everything in there. Like a Wolf stove is probably around about $20,000 right there. That's that's just the stove. That's not the oven. The oven is another like 30,000. That's kind of a high end thing. And then you do want the Wolf brand microwave, which pulls out instead of you having to open the door. It pulls out and it's like a tray on there, and you just put whatever you want in there, and that's like, I think it's like, I think it was like $800. But yeah, and then you got like the tables and stuff like that. You could go cheap, but you don't want to go cheap if you have this nice house. So you're gonna end up spending like, they have one of the tables, it's a circle table, and if you want to make more room from everybody else, it spreads out. So that was like $2,000 for the table and the chairs and everything.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. We lived in Arlington, and I was looking at possibly getting a job at EDS, and we were looking at places that like in Allen, that nearby to live in, nice community, and we were looking at houses. And here's what they say. Okay, the housing bubble. People overbought; they couldn't afford it. Here's what they tried to do with us. Okay, nice house. You want rounded corners, you can do that. It'll be this many thousand more. Upgrade the countertops, like you're saying. This many.
Yeah.
You want a media room? Oh yeah. Take the top, convert it to a media room. They were going to give us 120% loan.
Wow.
You know why?
Why?
We wouldn't have had to put anything down. The 20% extra was going to be considered the down payment.
Oh, wow.
That's why there was a housing crash.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
not that particular crash. Not that particular crash, but that's one of the financing issues is they were pushing that. They were, and I was like, I'm not stupid enough to do that.
Dude, here's the thing. I think I put down, you said it takes like 20% to put down on a down payment on a house.
Well, no, it doesn't. Not necessarily. It depends on the loan, but that's what they were going to do with us with a
No,
really
right.
fancy house in Allen.
I was getting like an $80,000 house. I think I only put down $1,000 on.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was like a year before the housing crisis.
Wow. The upgrades were nuts, though. They were really, really cool.
Yeah. What got me, I was listening to a guy that was redoing his house. They said granite was cheaper than the actual having a wooden countertop.
I forget which countertop. Anytime we're thinking about it, and I have to research it because there's some countertops that I mean, you got to take baby care of them. You spill something on it, it soaks in. And I don't remember if it's granite, marble, or there's 3 different main surfaces, I think, of countertops, and they all react differently and need different care. It's like you spill something on it, you don't get it up right away, it's ruined.
Oh, ceramic is the worst. Ceramic is widely considered the worst kitchen countertop choice. Is deeply grouted lines, trap grease, food crumbs, bacteria, make them nearly impossible to keep clean. Well, the uneven surface cracks easy and makes rolling dough or placing glassware unstable.
No, it's not ceramic. It's not ceramic. The options are quartz,
done.
granite, or marble.
Marble, exceptionally soft and porous. It stains and etches instantly upon common kitchen acids like lemon juice, wine, or vinegar. So I think it's marble. Limestone, softer than marble, extremely porous, meaning it scratches, soaks up, spills. So no limestone.
Quartz is what you want.
Well, hold on. I'm not done yet. Butcher block wood absorbs moisture heavily. Yeah, we know that. Concrete, not recommend. I got videos. Which one's the best for countertops? Yeah, engineered quartz.
A man-made stone that resists stains and needs no sealing.
Non-porous, stain-proof, zero sealing required. Uniform patterns. Okay. Can scorch under extreme heat, but it's expensive.
Yeah, we've looked at that before.
Granite is another one. Heat proof, highly durable. Every slab is completely unique. Porous surface requires periodic sealing.
We're just all over it today. Hey, you like this Chad Prather guy, right?
He's nice.
Okay.
When I met him, he was nice.
Okay. Let me play a minute and 16-second video of his.
Okay. And while you do that, I'm going to go through X and see if I can find any other news.
This is going to make some of you mad. Don't care. I just came out of the Home Depot. I want to know when Home Depot became a daycare for middle-aged men, because that's all it is. I can just picture their wife dropping them off at the curb saying, go in and have a little fun, honey. And every one of those men walked in there with the ambition of just getting one thing. They were just there to get a little box of screws or a handle for a cabinet. Nope. 4 hours later, they're in the power tool aisle comparing impact drivers with a complete stranger named Dale. They've never met Dale, don't know Dale's last name, but somehow after 20 minutes, they trust Dale more than their financial advisor. Dale's like, you don't want that one, you want the brushless. I knew there was a reason that I liked you, Dale. Something special about you, Dale. And then they're wandering around looking for stuff they don't need. Man, I could use a pressure washer. That's a mighty fine unit. Bro, you live in an apartment. Doesn't matter. 3,200 PSI. Now you're emotionally invested in a pressure washer. Then they find the lumber aisle, and the men, they go over there to dream thinking, man, I could build something. No, you can't. You came in here because the handle on the cabinet fell off, and now you're out there looking at lumber like you're trying to see what's straight. You leave with a Milwaukee drill, a pressure washer, 60 foot of extension cord, and absolutely no screws, and your wife says, did you get what you needed? No, but I made a new friend named Dale. Y'all know I'm telling the truth, man. I love you. God bless you. Poke, whatever.
I spotted that a little bit ago, and I spotted that a little bit ago, and I was like, I gotta play that. That's hilarious. What'd you think of that?
That was pretty funny. Oh, Muslim chief of police is Sheridan of Dearborn has labeled the thousands of Christians that have been coming outside alligator they're basically cooking they're roasting pigs outside of mosque.
Well, if we're going to get into religion,
Go ahead.
that's it. It's an article. God confirms heaven will have a Buc-ee's.
Oh, thank God for that one.
I was at Buc-ee's today. Good brisket.
Yeah.
And 2 more T-shirts for my wife's collection of a bazillion. Oh, 2 bazillion now, but that's okay. They're nice. She likes them. I like them too. I don't wear them though because I have to have button up and I have to have a pocket. You're not a pocket guy though. You don't have pockets, do you?
Not for my shirt.
I've got to have a shirt pocket. I have shirts that I accidentally bought the shirt without a pocket. They're hanging up or in a box somewhere. I bought them, accidentally didn't have a pocket, never wore them. I just said, damn, can't. Should have gave them away or donated them instead of just shoving them in a box.
I know you like to put your pens in your pockets. I like to borrow your pen and put the pen back into the pocket.
Oh, that's right. You used to do that. You just grab it out. I remember that. Wow.
And I rub
yeah, we worked at the same place.
And I rubbed your nipple with the pen.
That wasn't necessary. Dave was goofy.
I still do that. What are you talking about? There's a guy up at my work. I'll grab it. He'll hand me his pen, and he has pockets on his shirt. And I'll look him dead in the eye when I do it. That's what's even worse because I did the same thing with you. I'll put it. He's like, "Hey, thanks." I was like, "No, I'll put it in there for you, buddy." And I'll start rubbing the pen onto his chest. How's that feel? I look him dead. It's like, God damn, stop it, Dave. You got any questions that you need to be asked? I'm here for you, buddy.
That place messed up so many of my good shirts. Of course, Carmen wondered why I was out there in Dillard's 100S gold shirts doing sandblasting. I liked nice shirts. Kind of messed up my cuffs, though.
Yeah. Well, you want to call it?
I don't have any coins. We're gonna go.
I swear, Bill, I swear.
Oh, you're not talking about like heads or tails.
No. We're gonna
I don't know where it went.
we're gonna land this plane. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Actually, listen and watch this stuff that we put out for you. Love you guys. I'm David Dickerman.
And I'm Wild William.
God bless everybody around there. Love you guys. Goodbye.